For over 3,000 years beneath the blazing Egyptian sun, Luxor Temple has stood not just as stone and columns, but as a living book of pharaohs, gods, and forgotten festivals. Every carving hides a secret. Every shadow tells a story. Luxor Temple is a large and complex ancient Egyptian temple, located on the east bank of the Nile River in the city of Luxor, historically known as Thebes. It was founded around 1400 BCE. The temple was built for the god Amun, his consort Mut, and their son Khonsu. Construction of Luxor Temple took place during the reigns of kings from the 18th and 19th dynasties. The most significant structures within the temple were built by kings Amenhotep III and Ramses II. Ramses II added the open courtyard, the monumental pylon, the grand gateway, and 2 obelisks. King Thutmose III built chapels dedicated to the Theban triad, Ammonius, Mut, Khonsu, and Tutankhamun completed the wall inscriptions. The original triple shrine, built during the reigns of Queen Hatshepsut and King Thutmose III of the 18th dynasty, was later destroyed but then rebuilt by Ramses II. The temple is also known as Opet Festival, meaning the southern sanctuary, or the place of Ammonius Ra, and is considered one of the best preserved and most beautifully constructed Egyptian temples, exemplifying classic Egyptian temple design. During the Middle Kingdom period, the site where Amenhotep III built the current temple contained remains of an older temple and a sacred chapel likely dating back to the 12th dynasty. Amenhotep III is credited with building the temple in its current form on the east bank of the Nile, aligned on a north-south axis. Queen Hatshepsut and King Thutmose III constructed a small building with 3 chapels dedicated to the Theban triad. It is believed that Ramses II rebuilt these chapels and inscribed his name on them. Ramses II, a 19th dynasty ruler, added a large pylon and behind it a spacious courtyard lined with papyrus-columned colonnades. Deep inside Luxor Temple, hidden among the colonnades, are the remarkable divine birth reliefs of Pharaoh Amenhotep III. These carvings tell how the god Ammonius himself visited the queen in disguise, fathering the future king. The scenes were meant to prove that Amenhotep's rule was not just royal, but divinely ordained. Ancient architects typically oriented temples on the east bank of the Nile along a west-east axis, and those on the west bank along an east-west axis. However, Luxor Temple on the east bank is uniquely aligned along a north-south axis, possibly to align with the nearby Karnak temple complex to the north and the Avenue of Sphinxes, Avenue of the Rams, connecting the 2 temples. It is likely that Ramses II's architects adjusted the axes of the additions he made, including the pylon and courtyard, to fit with the earlier constructions by Amenhotep III and the rebuilt triple shrine from the time of Hatshepsut and Thutmose III. Deep inside Luxor Temple, hidden among the colonnades, are the remarkable divine birth reliefs of Pharaoh Amenhotep III. These carvings tell how the god Ammonius himself visited the queen in disguise, fathering the future king. The scenes were meant to prove that Amenhotep's rule was not just royal, but divinely ordained. The entrance to Luxor Temple is marked by the first pylon, standing 24 meters high, built by Ramses II. This pylon is decorated with scenes of Ramses II's military victories, notably the Battle of Kadesh. Later pharaohs, especially those of the 25th dynasty, also recorded their triumphs here. Unlike most temples, Luxor came alive at night. Ancient priests lit the temple with hundreds of oil lamps, their golden glow dancing on the sandstone walls, as hymns to Ammonius echoed in the halls. Two massive pink granite obelisks once stood before Ramses II's Pylon. One of these obelisks now adorns the Place de la Concorde in Paris and weighs approximately 220 tons. The eastern obelisk, still standing before the northern pylon, weighs around 257 tons and is notable for the carved monkeys on its base, depicted worshipping the sun at sunrise. Both obelisks bear hieroglyphic inscriptions of Ramses II's names and titles, and show him offering sacrifices at their apexes. These obelisks not only symbolized the sun and proclaimed the temple's location from afar, but also had pointed tops likely covered with a gold-plated copper layer, keeping them gleaming and radiant. Ramses II also constructed the massive pylon at the temple's entrance, measuring 65 meters wide and 24 meters high. On its western wing, deep reliefs depict Ramses II's battles against the Hittites in his fifth regnal year. The scenes include Ramses with his military advisors, the defeated enemy camp, and the king in his chariot amid battle. On the eastern wing, Ramses is shown in his war chariot raining arrows down upon fleeing Hittite enemies, with the battlefield strewn with dead and wounded. In the far north of this wing is a depiction of the Hittite prince of Kadesh, portrayed as frightened in his chariot. A poetic description of the battle, written in ancient Egyptian, extends from the right western wing to the eastern wing's lower part. Centuries after its construction, Alexander the Great added his mark inside Luxor Temple. He ordered inscriptions showing himself as a true pharaoh of Egypt, linking his rule to the gods of Thebes. The pylon's facade contains 4 vertical niches, 2 on each wing, designed to hold flagpoles, and 4 openings at the top where the flagpoles were secured. Ramses II also built the temple's courtyard, measuring 57 meters long and 51 meters wide. Notably, the courtyard's axis deviates eastward from the temple's main axis, possibly to face Karnak Temple or to avoid the chapels constructed earlier by Hatshepsut and Thutmose III in the current location. The courtyard is surrounded by porticos, each supported by 2 rows of papyrus columns. This avenue is a paved road flanked by rows of Sphinx statues representing King Nectanebo I of the 30th dynasty, who established this path during his reign. The avenue led to the Temple of Khonsu, located south of Karnak temples, replacing the earlier Avenue of Rams, Avenue of the Sphinxes, dating back to the reign of Amenhotep III, as evidenced by some statues bearing Amenhotep III's name near Khonsu Temple's southern gate. Each Sphinx statue was carved from a single block of sandstone, depicting a lion's body with King Nectanebo's head, placed on rectangular bases. The purpose of the Avenue of the Sphinxes was to delineate the procession route, whether royal or divine, and to emphasize its axis visually. One of the most spectacular events tied to Luxor Temple was the Opet Festival. Each year, statues of the Theban triad, Ammonius, Mut, and Khonsu, were carried from Karnak to Luxor in gilded boats, accompanied by music, dancing, and offerings. This sacred journey symbolized the renewal of the pharaoh's divine power and the union between gods and people. In 1798, Napoleon's scholars and soldiers documented Luxor Temple in detail, sketching its monuments and leaving us one of the earliest modern records of the site. Their drawings helped spark Europe's obsession with Egypt. During the Roman period, part of Luxor Temple was transformed into a Christian church. Frescoes of saints were painted over ancient reliefs, a reminder of how faith and history layered upon one another in this sacred place.